Hello, Randy Pennytaw here from mytabletlife.com with a video review of the Velocity Micro Cruz tablet. This tablet is a 7-inch 800 by 480 capacitive touch screen tablet that has a 16:9 ratio, which means that it's wider than it is tall. So generally apps are going to start up in landscape mode instead of portrait, which you might be used to. Here, as you can see, I've started the device up, and you can see the lock screen. And it's got the Android 2.0 operating system, so it uses the Android 2.0 lock screen. At this time, because of the processor, which is a 600 megahertz MIPS processor made by iGenix, Velocity Micro has decided not to upgrade this device to Android 2.2. Despite the fact that there is a MIPS port for Android 2.2, so we're not exactly sure why right at the moment they've decided not to do Android 2.2. It's quite possible that it's specifically because of the processor. Whether it's because of MIPS or because of the strength of the processor itself, we're not sure. We do have some questions out on that, and I'm waiting to hear back from Velocity Micro. Hopefully we'll hear back sometime soon. This screen is glossy, as you can see here, and that does kind of detract from the device a little bit, especially in this kind of lighting here, or if you're outdoors or anything like that. You get all kinds of reflections. You'll see me sitting in the screen because of those reflections. The nice thing, though, is that it is a capacitive touch screen, which makes it nice and easy to swipe across the screen to get to your different screens and open your app drawer. You also have a nice set of 3 touch buttons over here on the side: home, menu, and go back. The problem that I have with the touch buttons is that they're not backlit. So, like right now, you can't see them, even though I can see them with the lighting that I have. However, at nighttime or in poor lighting conditions, it's going to be very difficult to see those. And you're going to be trying to hit those buttons just by feel and knowledge. And it kind of messes you up when you're trying to hit a certain button. As you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button, and you can see that it actually lights up when touched, which is an odd feature to have. Normally you have them lit all the time so that you can see them at night. We're going to go back to the home screen here real quick, and as you can see, there's no custom UI on this tablet, which is actually kind of nice. I prefer that much more than having a custom UI, because that usually slows things down a whole lot. Velocity Micro has decided with their Cruz tablet that they would not do that. They've also decided here to go ahead and add a bunch of icons to the home screen for you so that you have easy access to the applications and stuff that they installed. Some of the applications that they have installed is the Astro File Manager, which is a nice addition because it's a very nice file manager that gets you in and out of the SD card and allows you to move files and also back up files too, so that's a nice addition. It has the Borders ebook store on it. Velocity Micro and Borders have partnered together to provide the Borders ebook store, so that not only can you read ebooks, but you can also purchase them straight from Borders. You have the regular standard Android browser. You have the Cruz Market, which has a few apps but doesn't have too many. Of course, this is not a Google Experience device, so you are not able to get to the App Store from Google, which is a shame. It would be much nicer to have that capability so that you could install a lot more programs. You do have the ability to sideload apps on here, so if you have a device that can get to the App Store, you can always take some of those programs and then move them over to the tablet and install them yourself. It also has a couple of nice addition programs like Dr. I here, which is a dictionary program, so that when you're reading an ebook, you can look something up if you're confused on what it means. You have Napster, which is an interesting addition. For those of you who use the Napster music service, you can get your music right on here. Let's back up. They also provide Office Suite, which allows you to look at your documents and gives you the option to buy Office Pro. Go ahead and let's go into the browser here. As you can see, had it open to my my Dropbox a little while ago, which I was trying to install some files on here from there. So we'll back out real quick. Go back to the Google home screen. I want to show you real quick. Going in and typing, there's the standard Android keyboard, which allows you to type in any of the addresses that you need to type in. Keyboard itself is okay. With it being just the standard keyboard, there's no frills, no extra special anything to it. Coming into the mytabletlife.com site here, you can see it comes up relatively quick. Some of the slowness is just because of my Wi-Fi at home right at the moment. It's not working as well as it should. However, some of it's from the device itself too. It's not as quick as I'd like it to be, pulling up different sites, even if they're not that graphic intensive, which is a shame. So that very well could be part of the processor causing that too. As soon as this finishes pulling up, I'll show you a couple of the other features of the standard browser. Right now it's a little bit harder to scroll because it hasn't finished loading. Typically, after it does finish loading, it is relatively smooth. It scrolls fairly well. One thing that is missing though on this device is the pinch to zoom. There is no multi-touch on this device, so it does not allow you to pinch zoom or pinch back out. You either have to use the plus or minus that pops up on the screen, or you double tap. Okay, so for those of you looking for multi-touch, this is not the device for you. The Cruz tablet also comes with the standard music app. Music on here sounds halfway decent. It's not the greatest I've ever heard in my life, but it's certainly not the worst. You can move in and out of there with relative ease. Also, the other nice thing about this device is that it will play video. I was rather disappointed in the fact that it would not play 1080p video, considering that the MIPS processor in it is supposed to be able to support that. However, when I loaded 1080p files onto this device, it absolutely slowed it down to a crawl. It could not run normally at all. I actually had to physically take the files back off of the device and then reboot for it to actually work and allow me to do the things that you see me doing here. The device is supposed to support MOVs, AVIs, MP4s, which it does, but the AVI files I found that I could actually get up to a 720p, whereas on the MOV files I could only play a 480p file, which is rather a shame. The standard video that we've been using for testing right at the moment is the Big Buck Bunny animated show, and it allows a lot of movement and a lot of color and a lot of nice video to show how something's going to run. As you can see here, the video is running relatively well. The sound is nicely in sync, and you can actually move up and down, and it doesn't seem to lose its spot in the audio or the video, which is nice. So while they've done a decent job on the video player, they have not done a great job. It would be much better if it could play all of the files that it's supposed to play up to 720p, and maybe even beyond that. But however, right at the moment you can't. Also, one of the things you might notice, and one of my other big complaints about this device, look at the fingerprints I have left on here just in this short demo. If the glossiness and the fingerprints are something that's going to bug you, I wouldn't get this device, because just the way it's designed, it's going to leave those behind. While this is a decent e-reader and something to use to get on to the internet and play some music or maybe a couple video files, I'm not sure it's worth the $300 price that they're charging for it. I'm thinking more along the lines of anywhere from $150 to $200 might be okay, but $300 seems a bit steep, especially when you're considering some of the other devices that are getting ready to come to market. So you might want to think about that. This is Randy Pennytop with MyTabletLife.com. You have a nice evening.